Welcome to another episode of Whitetail Rendezvous, coming to you 6 days a week as we interview whitetail experts and hear their traditions and personal stories of the hunt. Learn more about the latest gear, discover proven tips, and the latest strategies so you can make your next hunt a success. Now here's your host, Bruce Hutchin.
Welcome to another Wednesday Spotlight on American Outdoor News with editor Chris Avena. Chris, welcome back to the show.
Thanks for having me again, Bruce. Always a pleasure to be here.
Yeah, folks, Chris has really developed a great digital magazine, and he's going to share what's coming up in the September issue. But before we get in there, I wanted to talk about something that's really heating up across the outdoor world, and that's R3 stands for recruit, retain, and reactivate hunters. As everybody knows, we're losing hunters. And one thing that people in the podcast world and in the media world are doing is helping people figure out that hunting isn't hard, hunting is good, the meat's good, and we're trying to create a buzz that, hey, I want to find out what this is about. So, Chris, please share with the listeners what American Outdoor News is doing to promote R3.
Well, American Outdoor News basically embraces everything outdoors. It's not just a hunting publication. There's fishing, hiking, shooting sports. So it really promotes getting people back into the outdoors, not just hunting. We love to get young people back out to the range, get them involved in shooting sports, get them out into the woods, whether you're quadding, fishing, boating, something, just to get people back out into the outdoors. And whether they hunt, that's great. If not, maybe there's an interest that can ease into the hunting. So we're always looking to promote new people into the outdoors, and some of the stories that we publish, maybe that can help some of these people open their eyes to what exactly we do as outdoorsmen and just open the door, and maybe they can live vicariously through some of these people's eyes by reading some of their stories or watching some of the videos. And maybe that'll just pique their interest and get them back out there.
When you think about your upcoming September release, tell us some of the stories that would actually do what you just said.
Well, Larry Wizoon, Mr. Whitetail, has been so gracious and accommodating. He's been writing for me since I started the magazine. He just submitted an article to me called the Whitetail Experience. No better person to read about whitetail hunting than Larry Wizoon, Mr. Whitetail himself. So we got that to look forward to. Our cover story, Melissa Bachman, we did a pretty nice interview with her. So she'll be on the cover. And Melissa's always a gracious host and always revealing about what she does, how she does it. She's come under fire in recent years from anti-hunters, how she overcame that, things of that nature. Getting in shape for the season. Gus Kinjemi from Live the Wildlife TV, he's always in peak condition. He always goes on some of the most physically demanding hunts, and he shares some of his training secrets with us, some videos, some exercises on how he stays in shape. It's important to not just stay in shape for hunting season, but to live a healthy lifestyle. You never know when a destination hunt's going to come up unexpectedly. You don't want to be out of shape for it. Trust me, I've been there. And it's not a fun experience because you really struggle to keep up with the guides. And it's really not fair to them either. So I train daily. I try to stay in shape, do some cardio, do some free weights, anything for the season. Because even hiking into the woods, hiking to your stand, dragging a deer out of the woods, it could be physically demanding. If you're not ready for it, you don't want to hurt yourself trying to drag a deer back to camp. Well, I came out with the 2A section to my magazine this year to promote the Second Amendment. We find out about what exactly the Second Amendment means to somebody. We all know the broad brush definition, right to bear arms, but I believe that it means something personal to each and every one of us. And that's what we're honing in on in the 2A section. We got into reciprocity a little bit in the last issue. The summer issue is out now, so you can check that out. We have some comments from Donald Trump Jr., as well as some other well-known outdoorsmen in that section. And we will have something about the DC project in our fall issue. Now, the DC project, it's basically a non-for-profit, nonpartisan initiative that establishes relationships with local legislators. It's a women's Second Amendment, pro-Second Amendment group. And they recently went to Washington. They had one woman from every state, people like Mia Anstein, Becky Lou Laycock, and some tremendous people in the industry, some really remarkable women that actually went to the Hill. They went to the Capitol to meet with their legislators and say, hey, we're regular people. We want our right to bear arms. We're not a threat to society. You got soccer moms that are out there involved in shooting sports. And this is the face that they want to bring to Washington, let their legislators know that owning a gun doesn't mean that, the narrative behind that.
When you think about all the things you did, I see your magazine covers behind you. How many editions have you published so far?
This year, 2. We publish 4 a year. We're a quarterly publication. We have 2 more that will be coming out. We had Jana Walla on our spring cover. Jana is always accommodating. She's a true warrior and a great representation and role model for our industry. And you can go to our website and read that edition, read the interview. You can watch the video if you want. And that was a pretty good edition. Larry Wizoon's on this cover. We have an interview with Larry. We have an interview with the Dallas Safari Club. I just became a board member of the Northeast chapter of the Dallas Safari Club. So we have little insight to what they're all about. Dallas Safari Club has 11 chapters throughout the country. I'm thrilled to be on the board of the Northeast chapter that covers New York to Maine. And we're looking to promote, get people involved in the outdoors, get them involved in Dallas Safari Club. So that's another article in that issue. Like I said, Melissa Bachman will be on the spring cover, and we have Eva Shockey for the winter cover. That interview is already done. I did that a couple of months ago.
Why'd you get into this? What was the juice that made you become the editor of American Outdoor News?
That kind of happened by accident. Me and a friend of mine were talking about buying somebody's magazine. The numbers just didn't add up. And I basically said I could do this on my own. I don't have to buy somebody's magazine. So I started American Outdoor News. I produced 1 issue in the late fall of 2017, rolling into show season. And our first full year was last year, 2018. We had started out with Donna Boddington on the cover. She's a great lady. She's married to Craig Boddington, and she goes with him on all of his adventures. So that was a pretty insightful interview. Kevin Paulson from Hunting Life did that interview. Great first issue. From there, Joe Montaigne was on our cover. That was a really interesting interview. Joe's an interesting guy. A lot more to him than meets the eye. A big gun enthusiast. You can see his show on the Outdoor Channel, Gun Stories, where he talks about the history of guns, things of that nature. We had Lee and Tiffany on the cover last year, as well as Jim Shockey. So we've been very blessed to have some of the top names in the industry to grace the cover of our publication.
Good for you. When you think about the growth and where you wanted to go, what's the 3 important things to you that your magazine communicates with your readership?
Well, I want adventure. Not everybody could afford a destination hunt. And, I always like to read, and I like to read about something that I wasn't normally able to do. So that was my adventure until I started getting into doing things myself. But it piqued my interest and got me off my couch and into the woods again.
When I think of kids, do you have a kids section or a young adult section where they can go and relate not only through your magazine, but get on a community and social media? Is there anything like that available through AON?
Not really. We have a trophy room where people can send me their pictures of how they filled their tag throughout the course of the year. And I do get a lot of proud parents that send pictures of their young son or daughter that took their first deer or their first turkey. And I'm always thrilled to post something like that in the magazine.
When you think about hunting today and the uphill battle we're facing, What do you think the impact of your magazine is going to be to create that positive vibe and basically get people interested in hunting?
Well, that's an uphill battle. We don't only have to worry about the antis that are always coming after us about what we do and the lifestyle we lead, but hunters ourselves, we're our own worst enemy. Bow hunters don't like crossbow hunters. Rifle hunters don't like bow hunters. You should just band together. There's strength in numbers. We all love to be outdoors. We all love to hunt. We love to share the hunting camp with our friends. That's what it's all about. I don't care if you hunt with a slingshot. I'll support you. And that's what it's about. We want to support the outdoors. We want to promote the outdoors. We want to bring adventure to people. And I think we have some really exciting content. Some of the best people in the industry have written or do write for American Outdoor News. Jeff Fuller from Sporting Dog Adventures writes for me in every issue. Gus Congemi, Live the Wildlife TV. He is always on some of the most strenuous and physically demanding hunts. Very exciting guy to watch. You can watch a show on the Pursuit Channel. He writes for me regularly. The Boddingtons, Craig Boddington, Brittany Boddington have both written for me. Larry Wizoon writes for me. And it goes on and on. I've been very fortunate. And content-wise, I think it can't be beat. I think it's outstanding what some of these people have submitted. And I just hope that people enjoy reading it.
My show reaches 1,000 people a day or so. And some people out there saying, boy, I like to do something like that. What's 3 things that you would say, hey, if you want to jump in the water, come ahead. But here's 3 things you better know how to do.
Well, that's actually something you can read about in this issue. In Larry Wizoon's interview, we discussed that, what a young person needs to do to get into the outdoor industry. And he actually struck on something very important. It's great to love the outdoors, but it's a business. You better take some business courses and know what you're doing because, yeah, you can produce a show, you can produce a magazine or a website, but how are you going to monetize it? How are you going to make money? It's about making a living doing what you love to do. So take some business courses, take some writing courses, and get a solid background behind you to really move it forward and monetize your business. Because without any type of revenue, advertising, sponsorships, it's going to be very difficult to continue to do what you love to do. It's great to have a hobby, but let's see how we can make money with that hobby. For me, it's always been through relationships. I've been around the industry a long time, and I've met some amazing people, whether they're with the manufacturer or host a TV show or a blog or something. There's amazing people in this industry. They're always willing to help, but you have to be willing to help yourself. You got to have a strong base coming in and a game plan.
So, folks, here's a couple of takeaways. 1, it isn't easy. 2, find yourself an internship and basically go to work for free and learn the industry. A guy like Steve Ranella didn't start off at the top of his game. If you go back and listen to Jim Shockey and talk about his childhood and everything that he had to do to get to where he is today, it's taken a long time. And everybody in the industry that you go, oh, I wish I could be like them. Well, get around them, read about them, and find their backstory because nobody has it easy. It doesn't exist. Chris and I were talking yesterday about Whitetail Rendezvous, and it began as a goal to get over 500,000 listeners, which we've got, over 600 guests, which we have. But it's at the point, okay, it's not a hobby anymore. It's a business endeavor, and I'm bringing out products and different things to engage people to say, hey, Bruce brings value. Bruce is an authority and an influencer in the business, just like Chris is. And we all reach it at a different time. And that's the one thing I have learned. It's a timing thing. And it's not so much about the money. It's really about the timing and how you can resonate with your community.
Yeah, I agree with you. If you want to emulate somebody, find out the steps they took to get to the position they're at. They already laid out the blueprint on how to get there. Just follow exactly what they did and you'll reach your goals.
So where's next? What's next for American Outdoor News, Chris?
Well, we're always trying to introduce new sections to the magazine. The 2A section was new this year. I just thought that the left already has their narrative out there, and they did a pretty good job of marketing it and putting it out there. Not we agree with it in any way, shape, or form, but I thought we needed to get our voice out there. And I know the Second Amendment means something personal to everybody, and that's what I wanted out there. And that's kind of similar with the DC project is doing. They're putting a face behind gun ownership, and they're getting right in front of their legislators, and they're saying, hey, we're normal people. We're not criminals. We're not sadists. We're not looking to go on a mass shooting spree or something ridiculous. They just want to be able to enjoy shooting sports and protect their family. So that was new this year. We just put in a new podcast section. We'll call it Podcast Pages. You could find Whitetail Rendezvous there. Larry Wizoon just came out with a new radio podcast with Big Billy Kinder. That'll be on there. We're always looking to expand. We have a social section, see what people do outside of the hunting season, different fundraisers, different shows, trade shows, banquets, things of that nature. Just always something going on behind the scenes of the outdoor industry. And that's what the social outdoor section shows. And we're growing. We're always open to suggestions. We want to see what you like, what you look forward to. So feel free to shoot me an email and let me know what you would like to see in the publication, because we'll try something new.
Chris, how would somebody get a hold of you?
They can go to my Facebook page, AmericanOutdoorNews.com, just American Outdoor News on Facebook. They could text me from there. You could go to the website, AmericanOutdoorNews.com. You get in touch with me through that, or just shoot me an email, editor@AmericanOutdoorNews.com.
Any last words or last thoughts about the upcoming hunting season for our listeners?
I'm really looking forward to the season. In fact, I'll be upstate this weekend preparing. I'm getting a little bit of a late start this year, so I need to set up my trail cameras. It's about time to really start your food plots if you haven't started them already. Sight in your weapons, sight in your rifle, sight in your bow. There's a lot of things you need to do. If you're not hunting private land, you need to secure a spot to hunt. Knock on doors. Go to your local farmers and see if they'll let you hunt their land. Secure a place. Don't wait till the last minute and go on state land and go wandering aimlessly, because that's pot luck. You're going to come up empty 90% of the time if you don't secure a place or you don't scout out a place. So there's plenty of things that you need to do to prepare for the season.
Well, Chris Avena, it's just always a pleasure to have you on the show, and I can't wait till we do the winter show coming up. And thank you for all the support you've given to Whitetail Rendezvous and Deer Hunting Institute.
No, likewise, Bruce. I appreciate all your support as well.
Thanks for joining us. Be sure to tune in tomorrow for another episode of Whitetail Rendezvous, where you can listen and learn from the experts so you can be more successful on your next hunt. Until next time, listen, learn, and succeed.